Hello.
What
Hi. Yes, we are.
Yeah. Yeah, just forewarning, guys, and a little plug before. We're high as shit. We just did a weed review. Go check that out on the YouTubes.
Yeah. Did you say read review?
Weed review.
We did.
Weed. We're doing product reviews now. Trying to get you guys some more content. And when they go great, then they go great, because now we're gonna have a sesh, and you guys get to enjoy us stoned as shit. So here we go.
Yeah, maybe this is when we come back to talking about aliens and some shit, dude.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Go check out Magobe and Photon Tech and Medic Grow.
Yes, all the codes are down in the description there.
And if you really want them, we'll have them for you. But I'm not going to say them.
They'll be on the screen or something, maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
They're here.
Hello, welcome back. We gotta sober up real quick, and then we're gonna smoke it later.
Yeah,
so
we have another, literally another, most of the joint, 60% of the joint.
We got that far into the joint,
but we did take some pretty fat rips. Garrett's got this mouthpiece from Moose Labs that it really is like a silencer for weed. It's like that sneaky, it lets you take a big ass hit because it feels smoother.
And you feel good about it. You're like, there's no uh-oh moment, because sometimes you'll take a fat rip and you'll feel it in your lungs and you're like, oh, that was a lot, right?
Unless you actually smoke a lot, like I did on our review, and then it's like, but. Yeah. I mean, it literally lets you take these fat rips and you're unaware, and you then breathe out all this smoke and you're like, oh, holy shit. And then you're fucking smacked. Yeah. Get you one. Moose Labs.
Oh. Fuck, dude. It's been on my mind so much, so let's talk about it. So, I don't have my phone. We're recording on it right now. But, so the Weed World Online, right? Do you guys remember these people? Weed World Online? They were those trucks, those big green trucks that have, a bunch of nugs on it, edibles, all this shit. They're out in New York, Louisiana.
They're the ones that try to get me in New York. If you remember that
go back
episode,
to the In New York episode, and you'll hear all about them.
Yeah, they're shiesty. They sell all the CBD stuff, and then they tell you it's regular weed. I asked this girl point blank, and she told me, yes, this is weed. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. And then she asked me if I wanted any, and I was like, I already had my pen and edibles, and I had weed with a couple joints already rolled, and I'm like, nah, I'm cool, right? I brought all the things I needed. I knew that it's tough to get stuff in other states like that right off the bat, especially when you don't know anybody and you're from out of town, right? And you got to meet somebody sketchy. Not about it, dude. So I just bring my own weed, and these people are everywhere, bro. Out in the open, there's cops on the corners, everything. They're just fine. They're tricking people and selling people weed. They have little guys that are they're on foot, bro. They have packs of single candies and packs of these carts and packs of
so
these
they're
things.
Selling on the
and
go,
they'll go hey, you want some bubble? I got some edibles. They're just walking up and down the sidewalks, and I'll sell you
this was to you in New York. You saw these people.
Dude. Oh, several times. It's not just one person. It's literally every other block you go down, there's one motherfucker. It's you want edibles? You want edibles? You want edibles? Going down the thing, right? Just got his little bag.
So they're more than just weed trucks.
It's more than just weed trucks. It's
there's a whole gang.
Weed motherfuckers, right? But they're acting like it's weed, and it's not weed. So when the cops go and try to get them, they're like, oh, well, it's all CBD. And they're
right.
Damn.
So to the cops, it's all CBD. To the customer, it's all whatever they want it to be.
Whatever they want it to be, that's what it is, right? Unless you're looking for some CBD, and then they're like, oh, yeah, we got CBD.
Do you have the story at all? So anyway, this is, I think, in New York that this was happening. They had an amount that I don't know the number of parking tickets, which makes a lot of sense, because if they're that crazy, okay, go for it.
They confiscated over a dozen of these fucking weed trucks. Yeah,
they just
because they owe over $200,000 in parking tickets and fines. So when the better thing is, they park these things on the street and then operate out of them, but they don't do that legally. They didn't pay a permit to do that.
Right.
They're not paying the parking spot, right? They're just parking, and they're just selling weed to people, right? Weed. It's fucking crazy, bro. And then they're not paying their tickets.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that gets me is like, okay, if you're gonna break the law, if you're gonna be like, all right, fuck it, dude, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and you're gonna continue doing it out loud, bro, like eventually you're gonna get caught. Like, that's what happens, bro. Like,
I can't believe, like, how does one get, like, do you have to be removed from your vehicle to get a parking ticket in wherever this is, New York? Like, I don't know the rules on parking tickets because I've never gotten one.
I don't know if they thought they were in a gray area that they weren't, obviously. Like, maybe they thought that, like, oh, well, if the car's running and I'm not parked,
But
then...
But I don't think they even went to, like, trying to, I don't know. I guess this is a lawsuit for it, but, and we'll figure out what they say there.
No, this is just like fucking fine. Like, now they just are confiscating their vehicles because they owe the city all this money. Like,
yeah,
like almost like $250,000 they owe the city in parking tickets and shit. So they just started taking their fucking trucks. They're like, all right, well, if you're gonna keep parking here and not paying your shit, then we're gonna take these.
So I guess, does that mean that, like, that Weed World Online is not doing so good? Maybe their business isn't doing great.
At least not in New York, right? Like,
they're in a lot of places.
Big they're like all over the East Coast. Apparently,
Weed World Online, dog.
I've
like,
never seen them in Washington. They might exist here, but they're not as strong as they do over there on the East Coast.
Yeah. No, that's just crazy. I wanted to lead with that because I just been thinking about it, dude. Because shout out to Rude Boy Gardens. It's a shame his Instagram, like, he took it down, so we can't really plug him. But he's in the community. He's in our Discord and all that. You guys can talk to him.
He's dope.
He's an awesome dude. He's been giving us some news articles that he comes across. And
and that was one of them.
Yeah.
And it was a good one because, like, we've already talked about them, right? Like, it's like kind of the saga continues.
Right. I love that. We have this Weed World integration.
Little, segment now. It's like a whole ass piece.
The check-in with Weed World. WWO.
Yeah, dude. That's fucking crazy.
Good shit, though. I'm glad that they're fucking getting fucked because fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, fuck guys who are scamming people and selling and weed and stuff. But at the same time, I think this just means that New York needs to hurry the fuck up and let people buy weed. Like, obviously, this is a problem, and this is going to continue being a problem. Like, Weed World Online is going to go away, and somebody else is going to keep fucking doing it. There's probably still going to be motherfuckers walking up and down the street selling CBD to people.
But here's the thing, though. Like, in New York, you can grow plants. So, I mean...
but, like...
If you're out there...
Rent is, like, 2 times, 3 times higher than it is out here, and rent out here is crazy right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so I can only imagine us talking about, like, our space issues and, you know, other people we're dealing with. And, you know, like, oh, I have a tight space or I have an apartment, so this is how I'm growing. And then, like, me, like, I got a tight space, so now I'm going to be growing out of, like, a 2x3 and a 2x2. Like,
yeah, but you're going to get some good yield.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's harder to do or think about when your space is already limited, right? Because I imagine if I had less space to put my shit, there would be shit there in the space that I could go grow the weed, right? So now you're talking about, oh, damn, like, how do I rearrange the totes in my closet so I can fit this tent or whatever, right? Because you're already maxed out. So unless you're just growing it straight up in, like, the living room or your bedroom because it's a studio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's raw.
So with the... I don't know that we've talked about your grow. I mean, it's pretty much ready.
It's just a tent and a light and a fan. And I haven't gotten the big ass, like, AC Infinity, like, intake fan yet. Mm-hmm. That's, like, the next purchase, but I don't really need that till flower, right? Like, I'm not too worried about
little seedlings aren't gonna
like, I can dome them. I can do other things to keep the humidity where they need to be when they're little. When they get bigger, I can, you know, it's easier to keep it in, like, the range for veg, right? Like, they're
much easier.
They're more resilient in veg, so that, you know, you have an optimum range for sure that's small, but, like, the fucking range in which is okay, right? Like, that's wide. Like, the plants will do fine. So, like, I don't really need to dial that until flower. I'm not worried about really my humidity till the end of flower anyways, because I feel like it'll be too humid in a small ass tent. So I'm like, I gotta pull that out of the tent.
And so what was that you're going to start? What are you going to start in the tent?
I think we're running some Pinoys. Some
think
Pinoy
so.
Apoy,
I'm trying to get you to tell the people about what the fuck we're doing, Josh.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're doing a grow along. I'm high. I'm sorry.
No,
we're doing a grow along. We're doing a fucking grow along. If you're in the grow along, you know about it. Really, it's kind of far away. We're doing it September.
We're going to call it Growing With.
Yeah.
That's
growing with. And we're going to do 2 genetics from Pinoy Apoy. I forget the name of the new one he's sending us.
Right.
But we have 2 strains from him that are both femmed. We're going to have 10 different versions or 11 different versions of these 2 same strains, right? Different expressions going through different people's gardens, different grow styles. Pretty similar for most of them, honestly. Like we all kind of, there's birds of a feather, right? Like, so a lot of us like jive with the same kind of shit, but there's some people that grow differently, right? And I think Garrett's going to run one hydro. Like, we're going to do some different ways so you can see these different expressions. And it's going to be really exciting to see, like, okay, this is one plant, same genetics, same mom, same dad, same batch of seeds
10
that
different
got
places.
sold. This is what they look
10
like.
different grow styles.
Yeah.
We got people who like manifold. We got people who, just
LST.
Yep.
There's
like
people,
they're all different people, and they're fucking like New York, Michigan,
there's
Oregon.
people who
like,
solo cup it, bro. Like you're gonna see some little ones. Like there's ways.
I think Colorado too, which is gonna be crazy because that's like complete. I feel like that's completely different from where we
It's
grow.
like a fucking mile up or something. Yeah, like the air's way different. The humidity swings. It being so dry, right? Like it's got to be fucking crazy to try to maintain, unless it's like in the middle of your house and your house is like really insulated, and you put it in the closet that's like in the middle of all these insulated walls,
Right.
and maybe you could achieve perfection. But if it's like on the outside or in your garage, like oh god.
Yeah, so we got that going on. We want to do that reoccurring, right? Maybe we do it every year.
Doing this.
And hopefully we grow it bigger and bigger because that would be even cooler to have like 30, 40 people.
Eventually we're going to have a
grow
cup,
style.
dog. I saw that on the thing, and we're going to do it.
Yeah, the community wants it. They want to have something.
I want to
and
do
me
it
too. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I want to do it so big where people just enter in their own weed, of course, but I want the motherfuckers who are doing this grow along to be so big. Like we have 100 different growers or 200 different growers that when they're done, they bring their weed to the thing, and we judge the weed in the cup, right? Like everyone's home grow, right? They're like, all right, cool. I put it in the jar and I'm bringing it, right? Like whatever you got, right? Like if it's a little bit, okay, it's a little bit. If it's a lot, yeah, fucking bring it. Like let's go.
Yeah, no, that's always kind of been a like. I don't want to call it a pipe dream for Josh and I, but like ever since we kind of started with this podcast, we're like, dude, we want to do that type of thing. And we've seen like, people like Dude Grows do stuff like that and put that on. So it's achievable, right? Like I
feel like if I knew an events person, we could do it.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
Really, it's all about
really who you know, and then like your reach in the community. And then I think after that, just be good at selling fucking shit, right? Like be good at marketing stuff to get people to come, sell tickets and sell booth spaces, right? To like break even, and you do the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking
also want to
business.
go to cups, we want to go
bro,
out.
yeah, I want to be able to.
TL.
I want to go to cups and enter shit too. I want to be able to come and be like, yep, I got this. Yeah. I think in Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure, like 90% sure, you can apply for an out-of-state like medical license if you have like a medical
endorsement
somewhere else, or maybe you don't even need a medical endorsement somewhere else. I don't know. But I know that you can apply and they'll give you a temporary like 30, 60, 90 day like license, so you can go over there with weed.
So if
and
there's
have
ever
weed on you and buy it.
If there's ever a cup, you're like, I feel confident.
That's what I'm saying. Like I could bring my weed over there and enter it in my cup. Be like, it's my medicine. I drove over. I got it with me. This is my thing. I did the legal state line mambo, and got myself to wherever.
No, just one plane to another, man.
Yeah.
One plane to same plane.
Yeah, fly
one
over.
plane.
Yeah, one plane to shoot me over there. Unfortunately, when you go to Oklahoma, it's 2 planes. I don't know why. It fucking sucks.
Wait, what?
It's always 2 planes.
Like you get to Oklahoma and then you have to go to another.
No, I've never one plane from here to Oklahoma.
Oh, it's always been
It's always 2 planes. I don't know why, but it's always like, oh, we're going to Salt Lake.
Efficiency, man. That's just how the logistics of the planes work.
Sometimes we go to the fucking East Coast. One time I went to fucking Georgia. I went to Atlanta Airport and then back to Oklahoma, and I was like, how is this the way? How is this the cheapest possible thing to do for me? At the ticket item was like, oh, this is the cheapest tickets, the one that we send him clear across the country, and then he flies back to the middle.
That's what your boss like to do, huh? Is buy the cheapest ticket.
Oh, I mean, like, you got to be efficient. Every business does that. Like, even if they get the economy or the next step up, like, they're looking for the deal. They're getting the cheapest version of whatever that is. And then most places are going to try to call and negotiate. Like, they're like, hey, go and see if, like, we could do this on the lower, if we do it regular, if they have a corporate account or something we can set up and get a rebate. Like, yeah, they're always about saving their money.
Yeah. No, but that going all the way to fucking Georgia and then you must have been like, they must have sold like 10 of those seats, right? Like they just do a very small portion of those seats, right? This is the connecting flight and they make them a little cheaper, right? And meanwhile, they have this, Georgia to Oklahoma situation that's a one-way flight for these Georgian
Probably
people.
The same price.
Right.
Probably the same price.
Or
Probably
more expensive.
It costs those people who just went straight there more money than me to go there and then go back to Oklahoma. 100%. That's why I'm like, how? How is not sending me straight to Oklahoma?
That's how they offset it, though. That's what I'm saying. That's how they offset it. They're like, oh, yeah, we only have a couple of people who need to go to Oklahoma today. And then they're like, oh, fuck it, put them on this Georgia plane.
Yeah, that's how you know that the gas doesn't matter, bro. That's how you know the gas doesn't matter. Whenever they talk about, oh, the oil price is going up, we're going to raise your ticket prices hella. I'm like, dog, you be sending me around the country and don't charge extra for that. Like, it's cheaper, in fact, sometimes for me to fly more miles. Right. Like, we're not talking about efficiency with you guys, so don't lie to me and say it's all about, like, you have shit that's going on, and the gas doesn't matter. The gas is, like, the 4th thing on the list, right? Like,
No, I think it's because there was just only a couple people who needed to go. There's a lot of people who need to go to Georgia. Say that today that a lot of people need to go to Georgia and a couple people need to go to Oklahoma, right? Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, there's a lot of people from Georgia who want to go to Oklahoma today. And they're like, all right, bam. So you 10 people get screwed just because it's cheaper for them to do it that way.
Right.
It's more efficient for them to do it that way. I know it sounds stupid when, like, face value, you're like, why the fuck would you go to Georgia to go to Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm just talking about individual ticket price, right? Like, I get that business wise, like, that's the way, right? They're running a bus route, and like, there's like, it's easier if we do this for us. I get it, but for my ticket price, like, I traveled more miles, right? I went farther than I needed to go. Right. They spent way more fuel on my one person than anybody else that day, right? Like the people who went for Georgia, and they paid way more money for their ticket.
Right. Yeah, they get screwed. Meanwhile, you get a deal, and you get it feels like a deal of a lifetime because you're in Georgia. Yeah. I mean, maybe not for long, but you're in the Georgia airport.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. I
made it.
Yeah.
For free, basically.
A second. I feel like most of those flights are always like the connections like, oh, that connection flight leaves in 30 minutes. Right. So you're like, oh shit, I have 15 minutes to get there, because if it's flying out in 30 minutes, the gate closes 15 minutes before that. They're like, nah, sorry, motherfucker. Yeah,
they're on the runway.
I see the plane. I see it. It's there. It's not moving. I know there's motherfuckers there standing up still, putting their bags in the overhead things.
Nope, doors closed, man. Can't open the doors once they're closed.
No, I've learned that the hard way. So
I've never been in that situation.
15 minutes before, but I flew a lot. I feel like before that, never.
Right. But going there like weekly.
Yeah. I was like, flying all the time.
Like, and it was like, I see it all.
Yeah, I've experienced the whole gamut, and unfortunately, being very close to your time, not okay. The airport's one of those old people things that you need to, just go early and kick it. It's always better. Because, dude, one time I was flying in and I almost missed my flight back because they decided that day at the Oklahoma airport that they were doing a drill, and so all the security level was raised to like orange or the second highest, whatever. It wasn't like, oh dude, we're looking for bombs right now, like one below that, like a high risk kind of situation. So like everybody had to go through like all the fucking scanners and then get wanded down and then get felt down, and then they tested your fingers and your shoes and your hair for like different shit. So you had to sit there while that test was going on for them to see if they could find any particulate of like bad shit. And then they would look through your bag, so your bag would go through, and then they would look through it again, and then you could go. And they were doing that for every single person. So instead of you just like walking through the thing, grabbing your bag, putting your shoes on, and leaving, it was like, nope, every person stop, like, oh bro.
And then
and
sit and wait for this test.
So it took an extra like hour and a half for me to just get through the gate, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss my flight.
Like,
because
I got here
they
early
decided to do a
and
drill
still...
today. There was no announcement. Nobody texted me. I didn't get no alert saying, hey, they're running drills on this date. Please come to the airport such and such early, right? Like, it wasn't in my email. There, nothing. And so, yeah, almost got fucked by the airlines. And they don't care.
No. And so they were still running planes at that point? They were just like, nope, we're on schedule.
Yeah, they're still running planes. Like, if you didn't get there on time, bye. There was me and like 6 other people, a family of 4, and another dude, and I think his girl. Maybe they weren't together, but we were all running to the gate. The Oklahoma airport, thankfully, is not very big, right? I was like, I don't care where the gate is in this motherfucker, I can get there in a minute, right? Like, I'm like,
if I put my mind to it,
I am very confident that with this, just the backpack on, I could run to anywhere I needed to in this thing in a minute. And
did you have any paraphernalia on you when this happened?
No, it's in my I check it. I bring it back checked.
Nice. Okay.
Because I feel like if the place that would care would be Oklahoma.
Right.
So whenever I'd come back, if I did have any paraphernalia, right? Because like sometimes I didn't, like I smoked it all. But if I did come back with anything, it was like check it, throw it in, and then come back and I'd check my bag and it'd be fine. You know. Yeah. I'm not saying you should do that, but yeah, I may or may not have done that.
I fucking hate flying, dude. It's the most like here's
I
the
have
thing.
to be high now.
I can't. It makes it worse. It makes it worse.
No. Because it feels too like the thing that fucks me up about a plane is how stuffy it feels.
I know,
like,
and I feel like
close to everyone. And
but here's the thing: you get high, and then you get cotton mouth, and then you just feel stuffier.
Bro, bring water. Bring water.
Sometimes
there's
you get
water
high.
Fountains there.
Okay, so Josh, sometimes you get high and you forget the water.
Right.
Okay.
I understand,
motherfucker.
Because you got high at the wrong time.
I've done this twice.
You take the edible right when you get to the security check line.
Yep.
You pop one of them bitches.
Yeah, but you're there an hour and a half
right.
early, so you're just like,
no. You show up right before your flight, so you can get there 30 minutes. You should be at your gate like 30 minutes before you get on the plane and it takes off, right? I feel like if you're gonna be efficient, if you travel all the time, you still have shit to do. You want to arrive like, I don't know, an hour and a half early before your flight time. So by the time you get your bag checked and get through the TSA and everything, it's like that 30 to 40 minute time before your flight's going to take off. Okay. That's great timing, right? So that you're right there. You got 40 minutes until you're about to be on the plane. So you go, you sit down, and then usually right as I'm taking off, I'm getting high, right? Like I feel it hitting me as the plane is leaving, and I'm like, oh, right. And then I'm cool because we're going up on the plane. That's the part I like the most. I don't know why. It's like, oh, I got pop. The only thing that fucks me, I gotta pop my ears.
Yeah, I'm the opposite, dog. Like it just makes it worse. I hate the takeoff. I hate the takeoff and I hate the landing. Worst parts of the plane. No. Worst parts of the plane. They're just. It's like okay, so it's like you're going up a roller coaster, right? And you're going up your roller coaster, and this is exactly what it feels like. But you are anticipating that entire climb a drop.
No, and, I mean...
Okay, I'm just telling you, this is how my fucking brain works, Josh. It's like something in my brain, we're climbing just to fucking fall. which I mean isn't wrong. We just do it eloquently. We just bam, right?
Yeah.
And it's fine.
It's faster that way. You're safely catapulting.
I'm getting
yourself
better.
to a
I'm
different
getting better
place.
at it. I think honestly, okay, so here's two things, right? I think 9/11 for one, when I saw that as a kid on TV, probably fucked me up a little bit. And then number two, have you ever seen Final Destination? The one where they like cheat death and all that, right? Like so like then I think the very first one.
The very first one.
They were
Final
taking off in a plane and this was the like vision that he had, and those people who grew up probably our age know what the fuck I'm talking about. I think that scarred me as a kid. It was taken off, and then it just like got to a certain point and it blew up. And I'm like, all right, planes, not anymore. Like,
Well,
not okay.
thankfully, I don't think that happens very often,
understand,
right? Like
Josh.
statistically,
I know, but
very low.
my brain don't let it
yeah,
go.
yeah. But you gotta
see
think
that
about,
as a kid.
you gotta hype yourself up too. You gotta think about that. When
I
you
just
have
need
a
to go
thought
to therapy.
like that,
I just need to go to therapy, man.
Yeah,
Because this was
maybe.
like a childhood,
yeah,
like
maybe.
you were.
But
a little
when you're
kid.
in the moment, when you have a thought like that, you gotta force like a good thought down in your brain too. You gotta be like, yeah, maybe that happens, but it happens like 1 out of like 100 million times of the practice tests, right? Like the ones that they sent out to be used commercially have been tested and ran, and
right, unless you're flying Spirit, from what I hear.
Yeah, maybe a little sketchy, but they got the used planes or something. You're like, I don't know. It could go out at
secondhand
any
store
second.
planes.
Yeah. That's why the flights are all cheaper, because they
Yeah.
got the cheaper planes. But when you're flying, dude, like, the thing that fucks me up is like when you're in the air and it feels like I know I'm moving, but all you can see is clouds, so it feels like you're not moving. It feels like you're not making any progress.
The ground
And
is just
there's
slowly.
like a hell of people, and for some reason, whenever I go on a plane, it's hot. Like
Until you get to the.
I have to turn my fan on. I'm like overheating. I'm like, dude, what the
'Cause you're
fuck is
high.
happening? And then there's all these people around me, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. This fucks me up. But when I'm high, I don't even think about the other people. I'm like thinking about the fucking magazine right in front of me, right? Or I'm actively watching the free movie thing. Like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm down for this. And it's easier for me to not think about the shitty situation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. My brain works the exact opposite of yours.
Yeah.
Even when I'm
that
not high,
sucks,
when I'm
sorry.
not high, it's way better. I can like hone in on one thing a lot better. I'm way more. It's weird. I'm way more focused when I'm sober, but in a roundabout way, sometimes I'm more focused when I'm high. Like I don't know. It's very situational, but I have to be sober to ride on a plane nowadays, and I'm getting better. I just play 2048, and I'm like, all right, we're doing this. But anyway, what I really hate about the planes, I think the most is their fucking seats. Like, I feel like I'd be okay on a plane if I rode first class. Like, I look at those mother bitches with their fucking leg rests, and they get to, like, just recline.
out.
I'm like, yeah, that's where I'm fucking going, right? That's, if I could fly first class forever, I think I would be okay. I think I would be like, all right, if I die, at least I die comfortably.
Tag this video, because when we finally get invited to fucking somewhere to go do some shit like that, and they're like, bro, we're flying you out first class, I want to fucking call back to this. We're putting this in the fucking thing, because it's happening. I'm manifesting that right now. Other influencers get that shit, dude. They're just like, hey, we want you to be at this fucking event. Like, they like fly them out. Like,
yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Yeah, I just like I just want to relax. Like it's more relaxing if I could just
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if I could, you know what they need? You know what they actually need? Beds. Like, I should be able to get on a plane and just fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I should be able to go in, we take off, and I could get maybe for the takeoff and the landing, I need to be in a chair. I could see that, right? Safety,
So,
all that.
laying sideways, it reduces, like, you know, when you have like like you just drop and your stomach just kind of goes for a second, you're like, and that doesn't feel comfortable, right? If you lay down, that don't happen, right? Like, and I learned this from the roller coasters that we went on. I just recently went to Silverwood a couple weeks ago or whatever, and there were, you know, if you're sitting in a coaster and you drop, you feel that right in your gut. And then there was this one, I don't remember what it's called, aftershock. It's called the aftershock. It, like you go up kind of like straight to the ground, and then it just, and like no gut change. It was like, I think it was like, it's because I'm horizontal, right? This might be like a high thought thing, but it happened. Like that was the only one that my gut didn't like come up into my throat kind of thing. And
Unlocked
I was like,
anatomy, but like through experience,
right.
not through a class. Right? You got like a +1 anatomy on the. Oh, that's how that works.
That's how that works. Yeah. So yeah, no doubt. Like if everyone was horizontal, and that's why I feel like it would be so much better to be in first class too, because you're at least like partially more horizontal.
Yeah, you're close. Those bitches get close. Fuck them.
So like anytime like something drops, you're just like, nah, dude. Like that didn't nothing.
Yeah,
that's fun. I think we should move from airplanes.
Yeah.
Like we've talked a lot about airports and airplanes for
I'm not about
fucking 30 minutes. I don't know what we're talking about. Again, kind of why these sessions and stuff are gonna be so fun after this.
This weed is the truth.
Yeah,
like this dirty banana kush breath. Yeah, dirty banana kush breath from Scored. I am high as shit. Like this is,
oh my god,
maybe the highest off of like a little joint. Not a little joint, regular sized joint and a couple bowls I've been in a long time.
Yeah, it was good stuff. And I can't say that it's any different for me because usually I'll take like one bowl and then I like walk away. I don't usually hit 2 bowls and half of a joint at one time.
That sounds a little bit more responsible.
Josh don't live that way.
Not when we do the show. This is like the time that I turn up, honestly.
That's right. You
sometimes
got a baby and shit at home. You gotta
be
like, all right, I gotta be like.
This is the time I can smoke. But sometimes I do like face joints. Like that happens. Sometimes I just I'm gonna roll this joint and it ends up being like a gram and a gram and a half, and I just go smoke it, and then I come back and I'm like, all right, I'm pretty high.
How's your veggie garden going,
dude? Veggie Garden is kind of hit and miss right now.
Oh,
I feel like I suck at growing squashes.
Dude, I feel the same way.
Because I think so. I have all my squashes that I grew in like 3-gallon to 5-gallon pot situations.
What's like recommended for those?
I don't know. I don't know. A lot more, right? More. I can tell you it's more.
Just through experience.
They don't really put those things on plants they expect you to put in like a fucking bed. They just tell you like how deep the root zone goes and how far to like plant them away from each other, right?
Right.
So
like, they're viney mother bitches.
Right. They're viney mother bitches. They crawl. They go over the fucking pot, right? And they do the thing. But they are sucking, and it's because they don't have enough space. And
like they don't have enough space in the pot.
Yeah. 100%. Like
so transplant them.
It's they already have a lot of like fruit on them.
Oh,
they're just like having a hard time. Some of the fruit don't finish, and that's because they're like nutrient deficient. I gave them calcium, which is the first thing. They're like, hey, if this happens, it's calcium deficiency because you're probably overwatering. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I let these shits get dry as fuck. Like I water them when they're like almost wilty. I can see like because I know the only thing I've read about them is like they don't do well if you overwater them. So I'm like, okay, well I should probably underwater. Like I should probably just be on the side of like I've just like they're thirsty when I give them water, right? And they perk up and we're good. I just look for it. And so even then, like the calcium in there from just watering it is not there. So I've been supplementing some like organic calcium I found that's readily available, like it's ready to go. I don't know what that means, right? Probably nothing. Probably just calcium, right? Because it's just a fucking element.
Well, there's like water soluble calcium that I think is like the stuff that we use at work, right? It's like a salt, right? And it dissolves in water really easily versus like raw calcium that has to be gone through the
butts of
or was it like a powder?
No, it was already a premix situation. I went and bought this little bottle because I was like, I only need a little bit. So I don't need to calcium everything. Like I'll just put more calcium in my hot soil next time I mix it, or my beds when I mix it. Like.
And you said it was like a organic style.
Yeah, it said organic on it. But again, when it's just a fucking thing, like I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means anything.
It could be like them doing some like cool K&F shits and like cooking up some eggshells, right? Maybe. And then like putting it in with some like rice wine vinegar or whatever the fuck they use, and then they're like, "Yep, that's the water soluble. You spray a little bit of this shit on your plants."
So it's like 2 2 ounces for like 2 gallons or something like that.
So very little, right?
Very little when you're just
Yeah.
amending, right? Because it's supposed to be like an intense foliar if you wanted it to be. And I'm like, I don't need that. I'm not going to spray shit on my fruits and stuff that I'm going to eat, even if it is newts, right? Like, I'm just going to add it to the water and let the roots do the thing. So I added more of that. I put more like my hot soil and a little bit of compost on the top, you know, try to give it some juice, and we'll see. But right now they are not happy. They're all mad at me.
Are they like yellowing out?
No,
Like,
they'll
where are
get
they-
like end rot. So like the fruits will start developing, and then the end will start rotting before it can like fully thing. And
Damn.
that's usually a sign of calcium deficiency. But I did the calcium a few days ago now, like 3 or 4 days ago.
Just give it some time.
And so I'm gonna see what happens with these like fruit that are developing now. But if that doesn't change anything, then I'm like, okay, I think it's just because the area that it's in, it's getting root lock. It's not absorbing these nutrients, right? Like they're there. It's just not available to the plant for something.
Well,
So we'll
I
see.
hope better for your squash.
But my
man. I hope
tomatoes?
this calcium's gonna do the thing.
Tomatoes are kicking ass.
Too much ass, right?
Yeah,
little
they're
bit.
a little big.
Have you like I don't know what it'd be called, but defoliated them, like taking the little suckers off that they say to do?
I read a thing that was like, oh, if you grow weed, you should be familiar. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're talking
That's
my
all.
language.
That's all I needed to read about this whole. I didn't need to read the whole thing. It was like 2 paragraphs in. It was like bloop, and I was like, all right, back. That's all I needed to know. I could defoliate it like weed as I see fit.
Okay.
And with tomatoes, there's 2 types of branches. There's the one that are gonna have the flowers and the fruit, and there's ones that are just the fucking leaves, right? Like your fan leaves,
Right.
Right. So like the ones that are, man, probably halfway down the plant. When I started seeing fruit, gone, dude. Like just everything, stripped it. Because again, I'm like, oh, when I go into flower, before I flip it into flower,
Defoliate.
I'm defoliating the fuck out of it. Like I personally is pretty aggressive. Like halfway down the plant, all gone. Like just like I want just this. I want plenty of light penetration. I'm not growing for having little like just weight, right? Like I don't want the little popcorn buds at the end. Like I'd rather have the little golf balls that I can actually put in the grinder and break apart, not the little like turn into dust.
You want tomatoes that you could. What kind of tomatoes are you growing? Like big ones?
These
like
are supposed to be big. So one of them says they can grow up to like 5 pounds. Like one of the fruits.
just one
Just a
single thing, 5
single
pounds.
5-pound tomato.
How do you
One of them.
contain that?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. So there's one of them that can get fucking
5
huge,
fucking pounds.
apparently, right? And then there's the other one that's like 1 to 2 pound average.
Still.
Yeah, still pretty big.
Yeah, and how do they? Okay, so when they come off the branch, are they just like one single fruit? It's not like a cluster.
No, it's a cluster.
Jesus Christ. So, you're
Okay,
gonna have.
So what I have is I have bamboo
Uh-huh.
that I put like 5 ways around it.
Yeah.
And then I took some sticks that I found out in the yard and I burnt them like quickly. And then put them in water. And then I bent them. And then I wired that to the bamboo. So it made like 2 kind of half cages. And then I've been hanging.
You like primitive that shit, dog.
Yeah.
Soak some wood and water and I bend it around some bamboo. Go on.
Yeah. Well, I was like, okay, I need to do this now, like today, because they were like falling over one day. And I was like,
Right.
oh, God, this is not good, right? Like my little tiny stakes were not doing it anymore. Like I was trying to prop them up against the bottom of branches. And it just, I fucked up. I should have put cages beforehand, but I read that regular tomato cages suck. And especially if they're big tomatoes, right? Like they don't hold up well. And I'm like, well, damn. These are both big ass tomato plants. Like they're huge and the fruit is supposed to be huge. So nah, dog. Plus the tomato cages I have are only like 5 feet tall. And these things are like 6 feet, 6.5, but they start bending, right? So it's like I'm looking at these shits like in the eye, like
Right.
eye to eye at the top. And
you don't have anything up above you can like tie or like put like
so
an eyelet.
I
and,
got
like-
the bamboo, and then I've been doing.
No, I was saying just like like rafters or like an overhang or something, that way you can like tie a string to it and like tie the tomato plant up, because you can do that, and like if as it grows you just and it like pull the string taut again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But off of these sticks.
Okay.
So I did the sticks, and now I have them wired up to the stick.
Oh, okay.
Where they're at.
Yeah.
And so like I'll wire up like
how
just
tall are your
cluster.
bamboos?
6.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're like they go to a little over the top of the plant because it bends. Like
Yeah.
it used to go straight up, and then now it's like, because it's heavy and it's getting fruit, it's like down. But that's like right at the top of the bamboo, and then I have like 2 or 3 connecting sticks that kind of prop up the individual branches, bigger like colas that are coming off this bitch, right? Yeah. So I got them propped up, and then I tie just little individual wires to the individual like bud sites, right, where all my flowers were, right, because I know that's where the tomatoes are going to be, and some of the tomatoes are starting, and so they're all like supported all weird. It's kind of ghetto.
So are they all green, or are they starting to ripen up?
Oh, they're still green. Some of them are still not developed. Like some of them are still little flower bud thingies. Like they're not like getting big yet. So I'm like, okay, well maybe they just take a long time to fruit, you know, like because the leaves are green as shit.
Right. Like it's healthy.
I water those good. Like it's
You're
a
like,
healthy ass tomato plant. There's no pests that are bad. Got a couple spiders that kick it around it, and I'm like, yeah,
Good.
those are my boys.
Do the thing.
Yeah, I was like, you can
Yes.
stay rent free, but you gotta.
As long as you don't come in the house, okay? Don't set foot in this house. You're
don't come
done.
in. Yeah, don't come in the house. But if any motherfuckers get on this shit, you take them out. Like you can stay. So I got a couple friends. They're out there kicking it.
I've harvested 1 tomato off my aromas. It's like,
Ooh.
it's a nice little baby. It's a smaller situation, but
Yeah.
I
want to
so-
do smaller ones in the future. I'm like, damn, dude, I wish these were smaller.
right. No, I mean, they're just small plants because they kind of got fucked up. But
Yeah.
the fruits, I mean, they're not no 5-pound motherfucking
Yeah, I don't even
tomato.
know what that's gonna look like. Like I'm like a 5-pound tomato.
Yeah,
like, I can't
and like
even
a cluster
That's like
of
a
them.
grapefruit, but a tomato, right?
Right.
Like wow.
What are you gonna do with it? You're gonna have to make some mean salsa out of that.
Oh, I'm definitely making salsa. So
So
what I was
good.
gonna say, salsa for sure. I think if it's
Some
got to
pasta.
be a type of texture for you to make sauce out of it. I just learned this because I was like, oh, I'll make tomato sauce out of it. And then my girl was like, no, you can't just make tomato sauce out of any tomato. Like it's got to be this kind of tomato that you make the sauce out of, because that's what like breaks down and like thickens the sauce. I was like, oh, well, excuse me. Okay. That's some shit I didn't
Okay,
know.
chef.
I
My bad, chef.
Yeah. I was privy to. So like now I know, and I read it, and that's true. It's fucking true. Like you have to have the right type of tomato for like tomato sauces. So I don't know if these tomatoes are the right type of tomato, and even if the description on them says like meaty, or like they don't really give a description on like the texture of the tomato. So I'm like, basically I have to wait until I grow one of these fucking tomatoes and then slice it and see.
I don't know, but at like 5 pounds, you gotta be able to do something
Right.
with it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like it's salsa for sure. I can give a fuck. Any tomato I would cut up and turn into salsa.
Yeah, just can up that salsa, dude.
Yeah.
You have salsa for life.
Oh, forever. One tomato could be like 2 cans of salsa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right? That's gonna be
Oh,
fucking
fuck.
crazy. You know what? If I was a tomato like dude, I would be tripping dick about this one tomato. Like I would grow just that tomato. I would go back and I would find out how to do starts and like save them, because they got to be able to do that. You got to be able to take clones or do some shit where like you keep them inactive or in veg or like very
Tomatoes?
low. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
got to be a way, because I can't believe that you're just getting seeds off a tomato that do this every time, especially after all the like breeding stuff I've learned about like fruit trees go. Like you don't really get seeds to perform the way that you do when you like fucking just cut a start off of it. You know what I
like
mean?
they do better as a start.
No, like if you go to a fruit tree orchard, like none of those were seeds.
Right. Or were once upon a time.
None.
How do they make it?
They
To the
take-
first one.
They get the first. Well, they got the one seed, right?
Right.
And
That's
so
what I'm
instead
saying.
of-
There's
instead
at
of,
least
like,
the one.
getting like their diversity in their seeds is so great
Mm-hmm.
that like to get that consistency in the fruit
Mm-hmm.
and how much they do, you have to just take starts off of that
Right.
one.
It's
So,
just like weed. I mean, if you can run 100 different phenos of one thing, right? And then you're like, I want that one, right? And then you get that one. You don't pop more seeds
right.
of it.
But like even harder than weed. Like if you grow a seed out of like a peach,
Uh-huh.
like the chances of it
Right.
being like a good peach, like the peach that you bought from, like
Right.
very low, right? You're gonna get that peach, and it might taste good because you do the organic stuff, and you could have struck the lottery on genetics. But I've heard like for fruit tree orchards and people who want to do fruit trees, it's really important that the selection in what you get is like.
That's why you're always buying like whole ass trees, or like 3-foot trees when you
that
go
are
buy
hella
a tree.
expensive from like a place, because it's like, okay, this tree is gonna be this fucking
Right.
peach or this apple, like for sure.
You say you want to clone these tomatoes out though?
I was like, I would if I was the tomato guy,
Mm.
because of how fucking big they'd be. Like you could just make money hand over fist if one tomato was 5 pounds and you grew hella tomatoes. Like,
Right.
what? Yeah. Any byproduct that you make out of tomatoes, like sauce, whatever. Like if it could be a sauce,
Right.
just crush it, bro.
Then
Out
you
of
just-
like a micro farm, you could have like just one greenhouse of these motherfuckers,
And you just got a salsa and sauce business, dog.
yeah.
S&S.
Yeah, and just go kick
S&S
ass at like the
tomatoes.
farmer's market or something. Like you're like, boom, like I just can these, and I very low budget, very low.
You can have like
operation
1-2
cost.
plants, and you're like set for a year.
Bro. Yeah, or like just like eight of them. How much salsa cans you could have? You could sell them bitches online.
Right.
Yeah.
And just tomato sauce, tomato paste. You could do it all, dude. So much tomato
I
things.
don't want to do tomato paste because you have to have like a dehydration. You got to have equipment to do it the clean way, and the way to do it, like the old school Italy way, is you get these big ass like wood tables that are out in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and they just smash the tomatoes like on this fucking wood thing, and like pick off the bigger skin pieces and stuff. And then that's it, dude. They let it dry, and then they like scoop it onto each other and spread it back out, and then it dries, right? And then they
Sun-dried tomatoes, dog.
Then they scoop all that shit up. Like now it's like the paste because
Mm-hmm.
it's thick, and then they scoop all that shit and put it in the jars and stuff. And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I would never do that outside.
Not here.
And for me, I'm like, what? But what about all the the bugs? Like, what about all the bugs that are in the tomatoes now? Because here they would be like, you would have all this shit that would just fuck with your tomatoes as you smash them and left them like over to the elements to sun dry in Washington, right? Like it just would take a long time.
Yeah. But yeah, no, don't do that method. Definitely just do the old Washington way of making. Just don't do the paste.
Maybe you could do it in the oven, like on low. Make the paste of like you just like bake it.
Or just don't do the paste if it's
Real
going to be
slow.
that much of a deal, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, did you see the so we sent like a new telescope out to space or whatever,
oh
right?
yeah. Mhm. That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, kind of is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've been seeing I mean, this is kind of old news by this point, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, there was like it made its round on TikTok, and I go on TikTok all the time cuz I'm just addicted. Yeah, dude, it was just pretty. I didn't have like a revolution over it or anything. I wasn't like, oh my God, we're so small, you know, blah, blah, blah. I just more thought about like, again, there's shit out there. There's endless amounts of shit out there. It'd be really cool if we invented some technology to make that happen. And also someone was fucking, sorry, I'm tangenting off a lot,
No,
but there was someone explaining
I like this too.
how long it would take if you were to go 1 light year away, right? Like if you were to just like go the speed of light or right under the speed of light and go to a place that is 1 light year away, how long would it take you? And
Isn't a light year how far a light travels in a year?
so hold on. That's what I thought, right? And I was like, okay, yep, exactly. A light, that's how, no, that's not how the fucking math works. It's some bullshit.
Damn.
Apparently. So to someone standing on Earth, the perspective of that person, it would take them a year for the person on Earth to see that person get there. That is 1 light year. That's how long it took for their light particles to travel to us. It's 1 year, I guess. So relative to the person going to this place traveling the speed of light, it's somewhere around like, I think it was like, I knew it had a 6 in it. It was either 60 something or 6 minutes. Yeah, I was like, no. I might back that up. It might be hours. Again, look this shit up because I don't remember. But it boggled my mind. Whether it be minutes or hours, it's...
Okay, so it took them, let's just say 66 minutes, right? Like, that's, let's go with the bigger one because it's still crazy. It took them an hour to get there, right? They just...
It might have even been days. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay,
but still...
Whatever. 66 something that's not years, right? It took them 66 days to get there. They're traveling hyperspeed. Speed of light. And then you get to where you're going, right? It took you 66 days. You're like, all right, cool, we're here. And then the people that are down on Earth watching you won't know for like another 8 months or 9 months after you land that you even fucking landed. Mm-hmm. Because to them, it's imperceivable. They can't see it.
It blew my mind. I was like, it just takes them a year to get there, right? No, that's not how light years work. Apparently, they measure light on how, like, a light year based on how long, I guess, it's observable.
Okay.
Strange. It blew my mind. Whether it be days, hours, minutes, seconds, whatever, it's still short compared to a year. And so I was just thinking, how cool would it be to like invent this kind of technology and just like zoom off to somewhere? Again, I don't think it's feasible for a human to undergo the speed of light.
No, I think you could. I think you would need to do some type of weird like dimensional, like the shit that they're doing right now, that they're like smacking the fucking
at CERN.
Yeah. Yeah. Some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do some shit like that. Like
that sounds
crazy,
like
we're creating like negative space or fucking black matter or whatever the fuck they're doing.
They're trying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know they know what they're doing and all that.
No, absolutely.
No,
the fuck not.
I think they do.
They think they know what they're doing. I wholeheartedly believe that every single one of those motherfuckers thinks they know what they're doing. Like with vigor and faith, they believe that what they're doing is gonna be this, mm-hmm. right? Like they, without a doubt, they've ran all the numbers, mm-hmm. they've done the things, they've checked the boxes, right. And they're like, this is gonna happen. No, the fuck it's not. No, the fuck it's not. You don't know.
Especially when you're like creating something you've never
before. How can you know? You're giving it rules that you don't even know exist for it. You're using math based on things that you think is what's happening, right? But it's never been observed in real time. Mm-hmm. We've never been able to touch it and feel it and look at it and be like, yeah, no, it does this. Those are all theories. That's all what we think. Some guys crunched a lot of numbers for a long time and they're like, yep, it's got to be this. This is what the percentages are saying. And you're like, dude, no the fuck not. It could be anything else on the spectrum when it actually arrives. Like, what? And that's what the fuck is going to happen. They're going to do some shit like that.
But, I don't know. I don't know enough to know enough.
No, they should stop. You know that they found another tape of the Bernstein Bears recently, of the original, not the Bernstein, like the Bernstein VHS.
No, that was Photoshop. Gotta be. They're like, oh, I found it, and they like made it all tarnished and stuff to make it look aged. I don't believe it. No, we're not. Josh, are we going down this rabbit hole of fucking?
I don't know if it's like that much of a rabbit hole.
Okay, so people think that CERN is creating these Mandela effects.
I don't know if
warps,
CERN
jumps, whatever.
Yeah,
no, but that's think, what people think, right? I'm explaining that first
smashing this shit together
are just blipping our fucking world around, right?
Doing more than just creating what they think they're creating. It's actually like pulling other shit in from like alternate dimensions, right? Like that's how they're thinking. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's how that works.
Sounds crazy.
That feels. Even if you could smash something and switch particles with an alternate like version of the universe, if that even existed, right? Like, because I know there's a lot of theories that say that exists, and there's whole ass books on it, right? So I get that there's a big walk of life that believes that, but even if you could, like, what are the chances that those particles would be the fucking things you need to exist on that earth, right? Like one in what, right? Like, you're not just like fucking taking a particle of space that's out in the fucking middle of nowhere out of this giant space and switching it with like a rock or something, right? And just having negative space come through, when that's what most of the universe is
right.
Like negative nothing, like nothing, right? Like very tiny particles out in, you know, like I don't believe that even if it was smashing shit together and shit switching, you're not gonna get the two Bernstein Bear fucking switch, right? It's not gonna perfectly switch your fucking two VHSs. I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. That's a good theory. I guess it's fun to think about, but we don't know the ramifications, and they've done this before, right? They've powered it up before, and you know, I'm not knowledgeable on this at all, but I just know that like people were hesitant about it, and that was when the Mandela effect started to happen and all that. I don't know. This is just things I've heard and skipped past immediately because I'm just like, that sounds crazy,
dude. What? That's some sci-fi movie shit that's existing. If that's really what happened, right? Like if it just like boom and then like bloop, that's some movie shit.
And honestly, okay, so even further, if that is what's happening, I'm thankful it's not a black hole. If like that's the worst that's happening,
the thing is
Bernstein
it
and
could
Berenstein
also be a black hole. Like I think physically, what's happening here is that you could potentially create a black hole on the middle of a fucking planet and just like everything inside. Because how the fuck do you contain a black hole, right? You don't. I don't care what you build or what you think you're building. That's going to survive the force of the center of a black hole that you've created in the middle of this thing. Yeah. It's not. It's just going to suck it in like a fucking can, dude. It's going to like, gone.
At least we'll be gone quick, you know.
Yeah.
Or
very quick.
Or Josh, this has happened, and therefore we are in this different dimension. We've gotten smashed through this portal of a black hole before, and it just changed some Berenstein Bear shit, and that's all.
And we just didn't realize that happened.
It happened so quick, dude. If you create a fucking black hole on the planet, dog, done. Like you said, like, bro.
Yeah, but like for you to not even be aware.
Why not?
I don't know. Because you turn into spaghetti, dog. Like you turn.
That's what they think. We've never seen the other side of a black hole.
We've seen shit go into a black hole. We know it gets longer. They've seen like stars go into black holes.
That's probably an illusion. Like that's what you perceive, right? Because your mind can't see this weird refraction of how light works in a black hole and how a portal fucking works. We can't see that. So to us, it just looks like they glitch out of the Matrix, right? They just like
turn into spaghetti.
Turn into, like they stopped but like the front half of their body kept going, right? That's what we look at. I don't think that we wholeheartedly know what the fuck is going on, right? Like we can't see that. We don't know that that's a fact. Well, maybe they do, but I don't know. I just feel like it happens so fast that and we just don't know. We've never gone in there and came back to tell people about it.
True.
So I don't know, man. But
that'd be some weird shit.
It would be
some weird shit. We're just teleporting through. Everything changes.
And then we just do it again. Cycle repeats. CERN blood fires their thing. We just did it. We just went through a black hole.
Yeah.
We literally just did it.
Yeah. So you guys pay attention. Something's different. It is exactly like a glitch in the Matrix. They fucking redid some stuff, booted it back.
With that, we conclude this episode.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Smoking with us.
Go check out that review that we did on Scored. It was really cool, really fun.
Good. Still high.
Yeah. No,
the entirety of this whole. I mean, we did smoke the rest of that joint, so it kind of boosted that back up. But
yeah, but it was just as good the second time.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, love you guys. See you next week.
Love you.
Bye bye.